So I'm sitting here in my garage on on lockdown because our whole country's shut down, and just sitting here thinking about why I'm here, like literally right here in this moment, and why I'm home. Kind of made me sit back for a second and kind of understand a bigger picture. I've been working on making this video, kind of my introduction video, so you guys can, get to know me a little bit, know who I am and what I'm all about, and ultimately what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel. And I wanted to make it really cool, I wanted to make it all captivating and I have all these cool, I have all this cool footage and pictures and stuff from, these great things I've done. And it just hit me a little while ago that I really just want to get it done. It doesn't have to be fancy. I want to reach out to you guys because there's people out there that are just really freaking out and have, some really heavy concerns. And that's what I'm trying to handle with my channel, all while making it fun and cool and capture some cool stuff along the way. So I'm just gonna start, a little while back, I typed up what I thought would be a cool voiceover script. And I'm just gonna kind of, it's right here on my laptop, I'm just gonna go through it and make comments along the way. So you guys please just hang tight, it'll be worth it. So who am I? I'm just a guy named Jeff. Affectionately known as Captain Jack for, obvious reasons. It sprouted up last Halloween. I dressed up as Captain Jack for Halloween, and everybody loved it, and it just stuck, as nicknames do, and that's how you know you have a good one. I wasn't really going for that. I wasn't going for permanence. It just kind of hung around. So anyway, there's that. And now I'm Captain Jack. I'm a father, a teacher, a musician, and a mountain bike rider. Music and bicycles have been pretty much the two biggest passions in my entire life. Both of them have played a part in keeping me alive at different times, and we'll get to that. I had a pretty ordinary childhood. My mom worked her ass off to make sure we had food in the fridge and the heat stayed on in the wintertime. I grew up in New England, in Connecticut, in Vermont. I didn't know my dad. He was either in prison or just off doing whatever he was doing. So I didn't really have a whole lot of supervision growing up. What I had was a few really great friends and a BMX bike to keep me from becoming just another statistic. I didn't smoke cigarettes or weed or any of that crap. I just wanted to be on my bike. I'd see guys like, Josh White and Matt Hoffman in BMX Plus magazine, and I'd learn whatever tricks those guys were doing. And I had, like every other kid, I had dreams of being in the magazines with them someday. BMX kept me on the straight and narrow, and despite giving my mom a few extra gray hairs, I'm sure, it's what saved my childhood, keeping me distracted from putting chemicals in my body and teaching me courage and perseverance along the way. I eventually transitioned to mountain bike when I came back from music school, and all of my friends had started riding while I was gone. It was just kind of a natural progression, and of course I stepped right in. Went out and bought a bike and we all rode together. It was really cool. I went back to BMX later on as an adult, but it wasn't really what I wanted. I started racing, and I just didn't have the edge for competition that it required to keep up with these dudes that have been racing their entire lives. A mountain bike was everything I wanted. It was freedom. I could go as fast as I wanted to, or I could just kind of roll through the woods, looking at, everything nature had to show me. It was a blessing when I got my son involved at 13. He's 14 now, and he fell in love with the sport too. And we ride together all the time. So now we kind of get to the point. Almost a year ago to the day, so less than a year ago, May 1st, 2019, I found myself fighting for my life right in front of my son in the house, just a few yards that way. As a blood disorder I have was trying to kill me. Turns out I had a 16-inch long blood clot in my calf that was blocking 2 veins. Both of my lungs were full of clots. One vein in my left lung is fully blocked. Statistically, I should not have survived that. Blood clots kill more people in a year than AIDS, breast cancer, and car accidents combined. My card had certainly been punched, the ferryman had come to collect, and I was gifted a redo, and I knew that I had inherited a responsibility to try and do something, with this chance. The critical care specialist that worked on me in the hospital ordered every possible heart test there is to see if my heart was going to be strong enough to keep me alive. And when it was all said and done, he came in the room and said, "Whatever you've been doing for your whole life, keep doing it. It's why you're alive. Your heart's fine. No enlargement, no stress, no hypertension. You're probably going to make it." Now, of course, I thought probably was kind of the imperative word there. I was like, probably, huh? It sounds like there's maybe a little bit of might not. But anyway, we talked for a while, and he attributed my heart health to a lifetime of cycling. Mountain biking literally saved my life, after BMX probably saved my childhood. Music definitely had a role along the way, and that's for a different channel. But a glimpse of what music did for me. In 2013, I attended 8 funerals in 9 months. It was a pretty shitty year. From good friends to the one man I ever really had as a father figure, my grandfather. I saw so many people die just one after another. And also another person that was probably the closest to me, and I won't tell that story right now. Sorry. Anyway. I buried myself in my guitar until I felt like I could at least hold my head up long enough to see some sunshine. And if it wasn't for the music in my life, I'm not sure I'd be here today, Really cool side note, the end of 2013, in November that year, I ended up playing at the House of Blues Dallas with a guy named Steve Vai. For you guys that will recognize the name and kind of understand the gravity of that, it was a dude that I have looked up to for 30 years. That was pretty remarkable. And we'll get, anybody has questions, there's more information about that. Getting back to now, and what mountain biking has done for me, I don't even really know where to start. It kept me alive, obviously, physically. Keeps me alive spiritually, enhanced and enriched my relationship with my son, and given me a way to be a better father. I'm a sole parent, it's just him and me. And I have to get it right. I have to. It brings me peace and courage and confidence most of the time. I left the hospital with roughly 35% of my functional lung capacity. 6 weeks after I got out of the hospital, I bested my previous personal record on one of the local trails I ride. Now, it's easy, but I bested my personal record there by 9 minutes. Dude, 9 minutes is remarkable. And granted, I was suffering with less than half of my lung capacity, unbeknownst to me at the time when I did that. But nonetheless, I was riding out there pretty much daily to get my lungs back in shape. There are people out there struggling with life right now. It's one thing to struggle in life. It happens. No one should ever struggle with life. That sucks. Whatever it is has got people backed up against the wall, and they may not have the best perspective of their circumstance. And all they need is enough hope to make it to tomorrow. Because maybe tomorrow is the day that whatever it is that they're hoping or praying or waiting for is gonna come. I'm no superhero. No, I'm not. I'm just a dude. I've survived 100% of my own shitty days up to now, fueled by just a little bit of hope along the way. I've been gifted a life story that some people out there might find inspiring. So I'm just gonna put it out there and try and bring a little inspiration, a little hope to the folks that might need it. I'm not trying to save the world. Maybe I can make part of it a little brighter. We take day in and day out from life and from the world. We all do. It's what moves us. This is kind of my way of paying back a little bit of some of what I might have taken. I was being kind of a smart ass a while back, and somebody asked me how my day was going. And I said, every day is remarkable if we let it be. And it was like a giant bell rang in my soul. I realized the power in that thought and the instant difference it made in my perspective. Every day is as good as we let it be. Let yours be remarkable. If I can help along the way, I will have lived a fantastic life. Thanks for being here, you guys. Thanks for having me along for your ride.